Hey everyone, it's a podcast. Ruff, 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 ruff.
Headlight fluid container.
Headlight fluid! I think yours is the best so far.
It's a podcast. It's the Rooster Teeth podcast. Yay. With our greatest hits in a theme song.
What instrument is the wonk? What is that? Is that an electric guitar?
Is that a bass? Or it's a bass or a guitar, right?
It's a bass?
I guess it's not low enough to be a bass. It must be a guitar.
Now I know.
We are not the people to be talking about this.
The ukulele.
What do you mean about musical?
About anything music related.
Yeah. Musical theory? I'm drinking a Capri Sun.
Way to drink a Capri Sun. We got a small podcast this week. We have an intimate affair with Mr. Bernie Burns, Mr. Michael Jones,
I'm happy to be here.
and
This
Mr. Gus
intimate
Cirola.
affair.
I was hoping Brandon would be here today so we can make fun of him some more about his South Pole and the people defending him, claiming that the South Pole is in Canada.
I will attempt
really?
to channel Brandon. So, Gus, can you pick up that hammer and hit me in the head with it? And then I can explain this? Here's the way it was explained to me.
We do have a hammer in here.
I'm explaining this as best I can. Okay. He says the magnetic South Pole is in Canada, or that direction.
Right. No, he said in Canada. So let's state it with that.
Northern Canada is where the southern magnetic pole is. Now, here is his rationale for why that's where the magnetic South Pole is. If you look at a magnet, let's say a bar magnet, for instance, it has a north end and it has a south end. Also, when you have a compass, essentially the needle is one of those, a smaller version of one of those magnets.
Right.
And Michael, which ends of the magnets are attracted to each other?
Do you remember your 7th grade science?
Not really. The opposite ends?
Yes, opposites attract. It's like the Paula Abdul song with MC Scat Cat.
That is correct. And so
Opposites attract.
he says that
in
since
fiction.
the compass, when you look at it, it always points north. The north end of the magnet would be attracted to the south magnetic pole, which then means it's up in Canada, because that's where the compass points.
Stupid.
It's so stupid, right? That is he recontextualized directions on the globe because of the letters on a magnet.
That's dumb.
That's relative.
It's arbitrary. It's relative, yeah.
That's relative. The globe is the relative part. The magnet and the way they determined to label it, that's not relative. That's absolute. That is the center of the universe.
Wrong. Someone emailed and they were like, Brandon's actually correct. My teacher says that the South Pole is up there. It's like, go kick your teacher in the fucking nuts. This person should not be shaping young minds.
I'm going to look at
What is
right
his
now.
t-shirt, Brandon?
I'm going to refer to the internet, which is the global consciousness.
I referred to the internet in the link dump of our previous podcast, and the internet is on our side. The internet says Brandon is wrong.
I can't believe we even have to look this up, Gus.
No, I can't believe I had to link it. I can't believe there were people fucking defending him. And I was like, I had to go in there and explain to them why they were wrong. Explain why their teachers were wrong.
Because there's a geographic North Pole and a magnetic North Pole. And they're off from one another. They're
Right.
not the same thing.
The magnetic pole drifts as the Earth's magnetic field changes and warps.
Depends on who's checking a compass at that point in time.
Depends
It's
on
all
how many
relative.
compasses are active in the world. You know,
If more people in Russia are checking a compass, then it shifts that direction.
on a somewhat related, on a somewhat
Because of the attraction.
tangent here, I read a story, and I don't know if this is true. I should have looked this up before. I'm talking out my ass now before I'm pulling a Brandon.
I'm going to limit and say it's probably not true, if you're wondering.
I read a story that said that a long time ago, like hundreds of years ago, maps were drawn slightly differently. And that these maps, where people in Europe were drawing them, they had Asia at the top of the map.
Okay.
And that's why people refer to Asia as the Orient, because that's how they would orient their maps. They would grab their map and they would move it so that Asia was at the top.
So you turn it like
So basically, east was up.
Like a landscape view or a portrait view of
Right, like a
the
portrait
map.
view.
So like America would be down.
Right.
Like an Ender's Game.
From Europe's perspective, yes.
From Europe's perspective. Well, you're holding it that way.
Right.
You know? So east would be up on a map.
Right.
In other words. Interesting.
So then the magnetic east pole is also in Canada.
I don't believe that. The Orient.
That's
well, no, it's not. It was still east. The direction was east. It's just the east was up on a map.
Right.
Right.
So I'll look it up. If you look in the link dump or you're listening to the Enhanced podcast, I'm sure you can click on the podcast right now and I'll have a definitive answer.
There's a
question.
very easy way to determine whether or not this is true.
Okay.
Find a version of a map, and they have to be, I mean, there's got to be some maps that have survived for a very long period of time. Mm-hmm. Find a version of a map that has the written in portrait mode as opposed to landscape mode.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory.
You would pick up a map and you wouldn't orient it according to where Asia is. You would just pick it up so you could read the letters on it. Mm-hmm. That's the way you hold a map.
Interesting theory.
You see? Look at me thinking ahead for those idiots 400, 500 years ago.
They were just winging it. They didn't have any idea. Fucking idiots. They didn't know anything back then. I blame the fact that we're not in the future now on the Middle Ages, on the Dark Ages.
Do you?
If we hadn't had like the Black Plague and this like fear of the unknown and like people recessed, right? If that hadn't happened, we'd be in the future now. We wouldn't have lost like 100 years. We'd be 100 years further along.
In the future, Gus.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. We could have been 100 years further along some other path. Like we might not have focused on technology. We might have focused on, like, biology or something like that.
That's also awesome.
Nah, not so much.
Stem cells.
Nah, I'm more of the technology class.
I like technology also, but come on.
We'd be like Zergs.
Any science, if you're advancing one science, it's got to drag the other ones up with it.
No, fuck no. That's not true.
Really?
No, it's like, Steve Jobs just died. He died, 20 minutes after our podcast ended last time, right?
Yes.
In typical Apple fashion.
Thanks, Apple.
Thanks for one last one, Steve. We love it. Thank you very much. Do you want to say something about Steve impacted your life?
I think he was very influential in the computer industry. Whether or not you agree with the philosophy he took about computing, I think he's impacted every aspect of technology as far as I'm concerned.
The thing I most appreciate about Steve Jobs is that he was like this lone light, it seems like, in a time where all we do is worship reality stars and sports stars and miscreants. Here's a guy that the whole world adored for being an innovator, an inventor, and for pushing technology forward. That's a rare thing now. And I don't know who's going to replace him.
I hate to credit The Onion, but they had a great headline about it. I don't know if you saw it. It said something like, "The last man in America who knows what the fuck he was doing has died." Which I thought was really funny.
You think there's anybody else like who's going to take Steve Jobs' place?
Some people I've been reading theories. People love speculating about this kind of thing, right? When someone dies, people say Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, come on.
Which I disagree with.
I disagree as well. I'd say like maybe Larry Page or who's the other dude from Google?
Sergey something.
And Larry
Brin,
Page.
Sergey Brin, is that his name?
Absolutely.
Yes. Go on.
But I think maybe those guys. Even though Google scares the shit out of me.
I think they might be scared at the moment. Google, they. I think that mobile devices and mobile searching is changing and recontextualizing search maybe faster than Google's able to keep up. And I forget who it was. It might have been Larry Page. One of the guys from Google was testifying in Washington the other day about
figure.
a week or two ago.
Get used to that.
Right. And he was making this claim as well, that people searching on a computer versus searching on mobile, it's two different things you're looking for. When you're searching at a computer, you have time and the patience, and you want to see as much information as possible. So Google works in that sense. But on mobile, you just want the answer. You're not recreationally surfing. You're looking something up and you want to know. So Google is still the best for that, but things like Siri and other search engines that can find the answer you're looking for more quickly and correctly, more accurately, have the chance to dethrone Google on the mobile market, which is very quickly becoming the dominant market.
Yeah, everyone having mobile devices.
Right. And then, that's how a lot of people use most of their internet.
Did you buy an iPhone 4S?
I pre-ordered one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Did you pre-order one?
Yes.
I also pre-ordered one. When is yours showing up? It's now.
I don't know. I didn't get mine at launch. I think mine said 1 to 2 weeks.
Oh, look at you, chump.
Are you getting one this week?
17th. I get it the Monday.
Oh, you got it Monday?
Which is funny because Jack Patillo went to order one. As soon as I say his name, Michael starts laughing.
It's good.
So he stays up till 2 in the morning.
No, it was later.
It was later?
I was up as well.
You were?
Yeah.
I did not do that.
I
woke up the next morning.
They didn't actually show up on their website till almost 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I bet there were a lot of upset people.
Yeah, lots of refreshing.
They were typing away on their iPhone 4s probably and their iPhone 3GSs. But I got up the next morning and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just punched in my info, bam, instantaneously got it.
You didn't finish this Jack story, though.
So Jack was upset because he got a delivery date of the 14th, and he was not going to be at home the 14th. That's a Friday. And so there's nothing he can do. You can't, for whatever... Come on, Jack. For whatever reason, you can't change your shipping address. And so...
Are you talking iPhone?
Yeah, talking iPhone. So there was nothing that he could do to get his signature required. Nothing he could do because he wasn't going to be at his house that day.
Real fast, I want to jump in as well. I had the same problem. I'm going to be at New York Comic Con this week.
Uh-huh.
So I was smart. I was like, I'm not going to order this phone. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll go into the store, and I'll get it delivered to the store. That way I'll just pick it up.
Gus was the guy who gave me the idea to do this, by the way.
But
To buy a phone or to go to the store?
To go to the AT&T store.
So at 3 a.m., Jack decides to throw caution to the wind, and he orders his phone anyway.
Well, no, I didn't know about that at first. Like, I ordered my iPhone online at first, thinking, okay, I'll just have it shipped to the office, no big deal. Went to work the next day, and it's like, complete your order, and like, they sent me an email, and so I completed the order. It wouldn't let me change the shipping address.
Wait a minute, what's this about completing an order? You had an email telling you to complete the order?
Yeah.
You didn't complete the order at the time you bought it?
No, it was like it's been pre-ordered, but then we'll send you an email to complete and like finish, sending your address and all that
That's
stuff.
a scam site. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you buy it from iPhone 4S beta.ru?
Phone is spelled PH, you know that.
Yeah.
So did you have to do a complete your order email?
No.
No,
I went
through
to the
Apple.
store. I went to the store. Oh, you did it on the Apple website?
Yeah, on the Apple website. So anyway,
That's where I did it. I didn't get a complete your order email. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyway, so
3 a.m. think the shit had hit the fan.
yeah. So I tried to order through there, and initially it was like, you can't change your shipping address, and I was like, well, I'm going to be out of town on Friday when it comes out, so that's no good. So I was talking with Gus, and he's like, oh, you can just go to the AT&T store and just order it there, and they'll ship it to the store. You can pick it up or whatever. I was like, okay, that's great. No problem at all. And Gus had done it already in the day, so I canceled my Apple.com order. Then I went over to the AT&T store. I was like, all right, I want to buy this phone and have it shipped here so I can pick it up because I'm not going to be in town when it comes out or whatever. And so the guy's like, okay, no problem. Tried to push Uverse on me and all this other crap. And
Dude, I'm getting so close to going to Uverse, but anyway.
yeah, but anyway, so about a half an hour of this guy, like filling in all the stuff and making me sign things and giving me an address and everything like that. He's finally like, okay, we got your order. Like, I ran my credit card, gave me a receipt, and he's like, okay, it'll ship up here to the store, and we'll call you when it's in. I was like, oh, great, so it'll be like next Friday, and he's like, oh no, it'll be like 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh!
I was like, are you kidding? Like, he did not even say anything like that at first. I just
You should
assumed
have
it was
asked.
going to be available.
You should never assume, Jack.
I assume I would pre-order the phone to pick it up the day it comes out, or like when you pre-order a game, you go up there the day it's out and just go grab your game.
It's software.
Yeah, it's making a phone's a little more complicated than buying a disc
Well-
or making a disc.
Is this your way of saying you've never bought? I'm just going to stop right there. Get Brandon. Make fun of somebody. You've never bought launch hardware ever?
I have. I've always waited in line. Actually, I bought the iPhone 1. I waited in line for.
It was just called the iPhone.
Yeah, like
I don't want to upset Gus.
The first annual iPhone.
I bought that. I waited in line for like 6 hours for the original iPhone with some friends, and then 3 months later they dropped the price $200. That was fun, but no,
How much did you pay for yours?
I paid $600 for the first iPhone.
Yeah, they were $600.
That's crazy,
bucks.
yeah.
Yep.
And then they literally dropped the price like 2 or 3 months later to $400. But then everyone who bought the initial one got a $100 gift card to Apple.
I gotta say, I'm a little sad that Apple caved and gave you all the gift card.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the price of buying stuff early.
Yeah.
and I take that
The early
as well.
adoption fee.
I do the same thing. I buy stuff the day it comes out, and if it drops in price, it drops in price. I paid for the opportunity to have it first.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this: do you consider you just bought an iPhone 4S? Do you consider that to be a first generation product that you just bought?
No,
I do.
That doesn't
Like,
make sense.
I'm buying release hardware. I feel like that.
because the internal has changed so much.
Just it's new. It's new, and I'm buying it day one. And so if it fucks up or whatever, or you pick it up and the glass falls off the front, that's on me. I know better than that at this point. In fact, I think if you buy something hardware at launch day, it should not say submit order. It should say you're buying launch hardware, and the button should say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna buy it anyway. I want this.
The terms and conditions. This may spontaneously explode.
I mean, really, how many times have you been burned by launch hardware?
Literally, I think I have been burned by launch hardware before.
We made fun of you for buying the Thunderbolt laptop,
Thunderbolt.
and sure enough, you got it, and there was a problem with it.
There was?
Wasn't there a problem with your Thunderbolt laptop?
They haven't made anything for Thunderbolt. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
It's not so
That
bolt-
is the problem.
It's not so bolty, is it?
No, I haven't had any problems with it.
There was a problem with your version of laptop. Would the screen would turn off or something?
Oh, some people reported that problem. I didn't have that problem.
Oh, that disappoints me.
Yeah,
'Cause
no.
I literally searched for a week to find that problem.
No, I did not have that problem. I know some people reported that. My last laptop, which was like a 4th generation piece of hardware, had a problem where you could see like the illumination behind the screen, like there were bands of brightness going
wow.
vertically across my screen.
Maybe they were quantum bands.
Anyway, so I'm going to wait now like a month to get my iPhone that comes out on Friday.
Whoa.
So, woe is me. First world problems.
I did offer to give Jack my phone because he seemed disappointed, and it seemed like I'll give him my phone when it comes in. He's going from a 3GS to iPhone 4S. That's a bigger leap than I'm making going from a 4 to a 4S.
But at the
I
same
was,
time,
I was thinking about getting an iPhone. Would this be a decent leap from this?
What the fuck is that?
That's an LG
This
chocolate.
is an LG chocolate.
that's a brick. That's a
Let me
brick
see.
with numbers
Bam.
painted on it.
You know what that is? That's a time capsule.
That phone is about
You're holding 2005 in your
7
hands.
years old.
Oh wow!
That right there.
That is awesome.
That is a numeric keypad, my friend.
You
This is
can
cool.
you can listen to Chocolate Rain and
This is funny. When you activate the phone, a woman comes on and says, "Operator."
Yeah. You know what? Also,
Hey,
dude?
Sally, give me the sheriff.
You know what?
No,
Also,
you get-
this
when-
phone is $30 a month.
when you place the call, you have to go person to person call.
Yes. Connect me to number 4.
Give me Klondike 5.
Yeah, give me Klondike 5X219. There was a guy I knew who he's an old guy. I worked with him for a long time. He worked for him for a long time, and he grew up in Bee Cave, Texas.
Bee Cave Tech.
Jack and I actually just ran into Gus. It was the company that you and I worked at before Rooster Teeth,
The old call center.
the old call center for tech support. We ran into a sales team from the company at the airport in Dallas.
Oh yeah. What
Unfortunately,
were they doing?
Jack could not get on my plane. So it turns out that if Jack's on an hour later plane than me, I land in Austin. I have enough time to just basically get my stuff together, walk out to the car, give them my receipt, pay, go get some gas, come back, like right at the end of the airport drive, come back. That was an hour. It literally was like no extra time. Airports just suck away your life.
It's
do.
weird.
They
They
do.
just do, they suck it away.
Weird time suck.
But anyway, we saw those people. I was going to say Anthony, this guy we used to work for. He was from Bee Cave, Texas, and no one's going to understand this outside of Austin. But he remembers growing up in Austin when Hancock Center was the mall, like the Sears,
Yeah.
and all that. By the way, I was right. Did you look up that Novus came from Sears?
Yes, that was in the link dump.
Bam! That's trivia for you.
Well done.
And thank you. And Jack, have we talked about this before? Jack is like an old school Texan.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we mentioned it a long
Yeah,
time ago.
I'm
Like
a-
one of your first podcasts.
Yeah, I'm a 5th generation Austinite. Not even Texan, but Austinite. Like, we've been around for a damn long time.
So you've been here since like 1850?
Sometime between 1815 and 1830, my great-great-grandfather on my dad's mom's side moved to the Austin area before Texas was a state.
So basically, Texas was a country.
My family
Yeah.
was here before Texas was a state too. They were here when this was still Mexico. The fucking border moved across them.
But
I
yeah,
love Texas Independence Day.
Yeah. Boy, you know, there's a lot of Mexican people in Texas who get so upset when they celebrate Texas
I
Independence
fucking hate
Day.
it.
Yeah, they get upset. It's basically like celebrating a war over Mexico.
Yeah, it's like celebrating the loss of your fucking land and heritage.
yeah.
So you're
Go white people.
you're oh please, Mexico. It's the same land. I mean, Mexico. They put a river in between it. What's one bank of the river, the other bank of the river? It's not like Texas is
One-
fucking
one's
You know what
Mexico.
happens when that line on the map moves? Suddenly, it's a different government. They just take everything you own. Boop, ours.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So your family lost property?
My family lost a lot of. You know that property I own in the valley?
Yeah.
It used to be like what would be the equivalent of almost, I think, like the second largest ranch in Texas.
Jesus.
And it got reduced down to like a 20-acre parcel.
So they owned it from the Mexican government.
Yeah, and then
the Texas
this
government
became Texas, and Texas just took it all.
and did what with it?
Fucking nothing. I mean, there's nothing out there.
Whatever
Strip
fucking
malls.
white people
Yeah,
do.
white people stuff. I don't know. They had mayonnaise sandwiches. What do you people do? I don't even know. I've been trying to figure it out for fucking like 15 years.
Fucking square dancing, bitch. we need a lot of room for our square dancing.
What do you mean, you people?
Shut
So
up, give me your seat. So your great grandfather, he came to Texas. Why?
they did move down here from the Northeast. I want to say like Massachusetts area. Like they came down from there. I don't know what the reason was exactly, but it was like
fleeing the Tea Party.
it was like 3 brothers together, and they ended up marrying like 3 sisters in Texas. And I don't know the
That
exact.
sounds perverted, but it's not.
I saw a movie on the internet like that one. It started with that premise.
But then, so we've been in the Austin area for a long time. We actually, we have a family cemetery out in Westlake, out in the Westlake Hills, because my relatives, my distant relatives, owned most of what is now Westlake, which is a really, really rich part of Austin.
Now.
Now it is. But the problem was back then it's all hills, and you couldn't farm on hills, so they just sold it all. But
Idiots.
But we literally have like a family cemetery. You can go, and I have a Texas Ranger, and relative, someone, not the baseball player, but an actual Texas Ranger.
Walker?
The gun kind.
Yes, the gun kind. And so it's pretty wild. Like my family history is pretty interesting. So
it's going to take me 20 minutes to complete this 2-sentence story, but Anthony, when he was growing up, had a B-Cave phone line, like B-Cave 52L, and everyone else had normal phone numbers by that point, except for him because he was kind of rural and it was that point in time.
Uh-huh.
And it was, you know how you have those memories from when you're a kid and everybody has like these standout embarrassing memories? Like your first day in school and something happens? His was, he had to say his phone number and the teacher didn't believe that was his actual phone number.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
I'm paraphrasing the story here, but that's what he was embarrassed of.
I can't believe that the phone numbers changed that quickly to where people forgot or didn't believe that could be a phone number.
And you know what? That happens though, where like something happens and you forget. Like you forget. You lived in a time, Gus, where you did not have a cell phone.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. I think about that sometimes.
You just didn't have
Do
one.
you remember when they really took off? Like, let's say 98 or so?
Yes.
Everyone had the same cell phone?
That Sprint PCS phone that clicked up?
Well, yeah, it was
with
like
the
that little
speaker?
thing. It was like a Qualcomm phone, and it was all Sprint PCS.
And it was like you'd push up the earpiece to answer it, right?
You could. The one I'm thinking of is a little more brick-like. It's a little bigger. It was kind of curved on the back.
All I know is everyone aspired to have the Motorola Razr.
The Razr. I had a
Yeah.
Razr. I went from a Razr to my first iPhone, actually.
You went from a Razr to your first iPhone?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a jump for me.
That's pretty serious. Anthony worked in... I'm tell nothing but Anthony stories today. So Anthony worked in the telecom industry in the 80s and sold telecom all over the place. He had, as late as like 2005, he had a brick phone. Because that thing, the huge brick like you see in like Wall Street, with Michael Douglas on it. The huge brick phone with the antenna that comes out the top of it.
Podcast.
Hey, Joel, come on in. So he would use that thing, and the reason why he kept it is that he would go, he's a cowboy, so he'd go out to rodeos in the middle of nowhere. That thing worked everywhere.
Yeah.
And he would call up, and people would say, what is this plan that you have for 10 cents a minute that you have? This thing is an antiquated plan. He's like, don't touch my plan.
Yeah.
Don't touch that. Because the plan, if he changed his plan, it would deactivate the phone. There was nothing he could do
Yeah,
about it.
he probably had that till 2005 because I think that's when they shut that network down. The old analog network.
The cell network.
Yeah, got killed around that time.
Michael, how's your butthole?
How's my butthole? Interesting. That is just
Man,
fascinating
what an
statement from Joel.
entrance, Joel.
How's that ghost? How's
I
that
was
ghost
even
chilling?
thinking about
Quite
calling Anthony and
fun.
telling him I
How's the
talked
ghost
about it on the podcast.
You know what's
Now
funny?
can't.
I listened to the last podcast and I
Wow.
thought, I need to stop cursing. I just have to stop.
So
Absolutely
you
not.
come in and just drop butthole right
So I
away.
just, does butthole count as it?
You dropped a butthole.
I don't.
Come on, sit your butthole down in the chair. Come on,
I-
join us for a spell, won't you?
I think you need to do more cursing.
Why is it whenever you come into the podcast, you always open the door, look, close it, then we have to yell at you, and then you come in?
I think it's always
You like the
fun. I think
entrance?
I just wanted to go in. I just want to open the door, crack it, and shout podcast, and then just.
Well, that's
go.
what you just did.
But it never works.
But then
because I think it's funny. I think people should during the podcast just roll by the windows and the door and just shout things.
Yeah, but then he sits outside the door and goes, I hope they call for me.
No, I don't know if they call.
Joel's so happy right now. I don't think I've ever seen Joel this happy in the years I've known him. It's like he's finally feeling good, and the Rangers are kicking ass right now. So
Yeah.
And the world economy is crumbling.
yeah,
It's like everything's coming up, Joel.
Yeah.
So, we're about to go down to Australia, Joel and I.
Joel's so excited to go to Australia.
So you're out $100.
I am
You
excited.
are $100.
God damn
you
it.
dumbass.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
Jack
Yeah,
bet
we
me
did?
$100
Okay.
that Joel was back out of the
I don't
trip.
like traveling.
He's not in Australia yet.
I don't
That's
like
all I'm gonna
traveling.
say.
I particularly don't
No,
like.
he's going to Australia. We bought that ticket. He's going to Australia.
No, I'm going to Australia.
if I have to fly the fucking plane, he's going to Australia.
You have to flap your way over there. See, I don't like traveling. I'm not a big fan of traveling, and traveling with Bernie is even worse.
Yeah, dude.
Traveling with I remember when we were sharing the hotel room at one point after the night of unending snoring.
Go on.
It's like, I'm awake. I'm the first one awake, so I'm like, all right, well, screw it. I'm going to go take a shower. So I go and I take a shower, and I'm taking a shower, and I hear tap tap tap. Hey, I'm going to use your head. And before I know, I'm like, and then Bernie is in the bathroom with me, and then Bernie's like taking a poop.
That's so
Next
not
to me.
true.
Why?
That's so not
You know it's
true.
true. I was in the shower.
You're just
and
revealing
you were
some
going-
horrible erotic dream that you had that is not true.
You came into the bathroom and you were relieving yourself while I'm in it, and there's just all there is like a piece of plastic.
I might have
Like
pissed
a
while you were
foot.
in the shower. There's nothing wrong with that. Granted, I pissed in your shower. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. I have to admit. In
The
hindsight,
traveling. See, this is
that weird?
if we- if
Is
we
that a weird
expect-
thing?
Yes, that's
Yeah, that's
really
absolutely
absolutely
weird.
Is what? Which
Hell
part?
yeah, that's weird.
Which part?
You guys are
Wait,
crazy.
Poop.
We're crazy. What? You walked in while he was taking a shower.
And I didn't know
He's
what
in
was
the
happening.
shower. I'm not,
It
like,
was
peeking in.
And I know, well, it's like the steam. There was like a circle. You made a little circle on the glass, and like and it was like groin level because I guess you were sitting. And it was, but
It
my
wasn't
side
a
was
glass
steaming.
shower. It wasn't a glass shower.
I think
It was a glass. It was
Okay,
glass.
I admit it. Before I went to the bathroom, I sat on my hand for about 5 minutes so I would fall asleep. That was a weird part, I admit.
going wee is perfectly fine.
So
When
this
someone's
is
in the
like
shower.
if we go over budget on some travel expenditures, it's okay because it makes up for the time that we have to share bathrooms.
Listen, the reason why I crashed in your room that night, I think that was E3, and I got invited out the last minute to go look at something that we were going to use for a project.
What were you going to look at?
Well, I guess I can say now is we were looking at Forge World in Reach.
Oh, that's much more impressive.
Yeah, and so trying to book a hotel in LA or whatever it was we were doing at the last minute. You know, I already spent $1 bajillion to book a last minute ticket to go to LA, but there was no hotels within range. So I said I'll just crash on Joel's floor. So Joel, knowing that I was going to fall asleep and knowing that I can fall asleep in about 4.5 seconds if I want to fall asleep, Gavin tested me one time. I told him I could fall asleep anywhere, anytime, within like 4 or 5 minutes. And he said, "Go to sleep right now."
That's like a superpower.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I lost it. I was under a lot of stress this summer, and I kind of lost it for a while, and I started to freak out a little bit, and I got it back, so I can sleep.
It's like,
but
while you're in
working
traffic
out
or
helps.
something.
There's a flip side. There's like a kryptonite to this, Joel.
You can't wake up?
I can't fucking wake up. It takes me... sometimes it'll take me an hour and a half to wake up.
That's rough. Yeah.
Like, people who jump out of bed, like some fucking 9 and 6-year-olds I know, those shitheads, they'll be dead asleep, and it's like a noise or something, and they're both wide awake. And you're like,
That's because they're happy to be alive.
You little
you're,
fucks.
you're young. You're happy to be alive. You're like our age. You're not happy to be alive anymore. You just wanna-
You know, I've woken up and gone through the motions, and then really woken up at the office before.
get out of here.
Like one time,
And you drove to work?
Yeah, like one time I got here. I don't know if you remember this. It was like a month or two ago, and I was like, I don't think I washed my hair this morning. Like I had just I was just so asleep. I just went through the motions. I must have just got myself wet in the shower, and then I immediately got out because like I was
That's
at my
gross.
desk and I woke up.
Bernie
Like,
peeing
I was
outside?
like,
What's this about a shower?
I was like, when
Gus?
when did I get here? Did I wash my hair? Nope. It was filthy.
Oh, I don't know how anybody can do that. I don't know how you can get up in the morning and not brush your teeth and not take a shower.
So I asked you over AIM. I was like, so we can have some organization on this trip because hey, it's like we're going to leave very soon. It's like, have we booked hotel rooms?
I'll book a hotel
I asked
room.
you.
I'll
I asked
book
you
a hotel room right
I
now.
asked you, and you sent me a link back to a casino, which I appreciate. Which I appreciate greatly. I think you're right on the nose. I think you're right on target. That's a great idea. But still, if we can avoid any future shower situations,
Joel. This wasn't like a scenario that I
You
set
just-
up.
yes.
you just want to. I'm gonna
Orchestrate.
I'm gonna show up at the hotel and there's gonna be a piece of poop right on my head.
Good Lord. So we're going back. He knows I'm going to crash at his hotel. So because he knows I can fall asleep in 2 minutes,
And then snore, keep me
he's
awake
literally
all night.
rushing down the hallway. I have to go in the room with him because he has the key. And Matt said he was like in a panic. And Joel like hurries up and gets in bed. I lay on the floor. And sure enough, I'm out. I'm out instantaneously.
I had a roommate. And my freshman year of college, it snored, and it scarred me for life. So now it's just like any little bit of snoring.
You know, I don't snore anymore. I don't. I did. That's one of the things I lost with all the weight.
Yeah.
I
You
really
don't snore
No,
anymore.
I'm the same way. I think
The last time I shared a room with anyone for the Rooster Teeth trip was with Jack at PAX
I
a couple of years
snored
ago.
Gus out of
He
the room.
snored me out of the room. We were like in like one of those like Homewood suites or something. Like it's a
God,
slightly
that was
bigger room,
great.
so it's like a bedroom and a living room. I left the bedroom and I went to the living room and I still couldn't fall asleep in the fucking living room. I swear to God, the paintings on the wall were like shaking as the snoring was going on.
I'll be honest. We shared a room at PAX, and I didn't notice it. I mean, I passed
No,
out
I got
every,
better.
every
Like
night,
Bernie said, I lost
but,
a lot of weight, and I don't snore nearly as much. It's
I
one of
was
those
able
things
to
like
sleep.
It's
I was
also, if
also
you,
extremely intoxicated every night, but
Jack actually kicked my ass every time we had a weight loss contest. Jack kicked my ass. but somehow I just lost a lot more. I guess when we stopped, you stopped.
We had a thing. We had an email. We said we're gonna have a fitness contest. Here's a date. For
I
fitness
won. You didn't hear? I won.
Because we didn't have it.
We
didn't hold it. Did
Okay.
you hold it? Did you have it?
Did I hold it?
Did we have a fitness
No,
contest?
Joel. I knocked on the bathroom door and went in
Did
and
you
had
hold
it in the bathroom. I didn't hold it. Joel's happy as can be, right? Because another thing that Joel's happy about is that Joel feels good.
Yes.
Because Joel has a shitty stomach and he wouldn't take care of it for a long time.
Shitty stomach.
And here's why we didn't have the fitness contest. Because Brandon, in the middle of the summer, was sick. And then when we went to rehab it again, 95 days later or whatever, Brandon was sick again with that same cough.
Yeah.
So I really got concerned about Brandon. That we postponed something and then had to postpone it again because of the same
Well,
cough.
we should have it.
And now
Matt's
Matt's
gonna tag in. I gotta go work on horse today. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
letting
come
Matt
on.
tag in.
Man, we started with a light crew, and now everyone's just fucking swinging
Matt,
on by.
come tell the story. Where were we when we had to crash on Joel's floor and he had to race me back to the room to fall asleep before I did?
We already talked about this, right?
But was it Seattle?
Yeah, that was Seattle. That was.
We've already talked about this.
We've already talked about this. There aren't.
Do you know that Bernie?
there aren't
Do you
enough gummy
remember
bears in
you
the
were
world.
sleeping through this? Do you remember when Bernie stormed into the bathroom when I was in
Now
there
you
taking a
stormed
shower?
in.
What?
Kick the door.
Do you
in.
remember this?
Stormed into the
In
bathroom
the morning, Bernie was like
at the same place in Seattle.
in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom
Joel says
taking a
he-
shower.
Oh
and he
yes,
stormed
I
into
do
the-
remember. Yes,
So
I
this
do
did
remember.
happen.
That's true. Yeah, that did happen.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait.
is that a weird thing?
To storm into the bathroom when somebody's using it, it's slightly weird. The fact that you wanted to stay in there after you discovered he was using the bathroom, that was the weird part. Just barging in and going, oops, sorry, you back out. You're done with that.
But he said
once
he
you get
didn't
there,
say,
you go,
"Oops, sorry, backing out." He
I
was
wasn't saying,
saying-
if you had gotten to that point and you backed out, then you can understand it. But he got in there, was like, holy shit, Joel's using the bathroom. Well, I guess I'll hang out in here. This is cool.
Now you hung out.
Joel,
I started calling some people, inviting them over.
not Joel is using the bathroom.
He had just gotten an iPhone video chat, and he was like, hey, check it out, everybody. Look where I
Joel's
am.
in the shower.
It's quote unquote FaceTime.
But the important thing was did Bernie do a number 1 or number 2?
Come on.
Matt
What are we,
probably
savages?
get me
Yeah, because there's a difference. You don't poop while a man's in the shower.
Joel's saying a number 2.
Yeah.
Joel,
It's so bullshit.
No.
Apparently
you
you
You're
were.
always pooping
Apparently.
everywhere. Well, I don't know.
Come on,
everywhere.
come on.
Pooping.
Is that is
it was
one.
upper deck. That's
Number
all.
1. Wow.
You got to be kidding me, right?
You don't remember this?
No, I do remember
All right,
it. It's
Well,
not that
you know
big a
why?
deal.
listen.
You know why?
Separate-
You know why Bernie
separate
doesn't
rooms
remember
in
it?
Australia.
Bernie didn't get good sleep that night because he didn't get any oxygen because apparently he can't breathe through his nose.
Couldn't breathe through my nose back in the day.
You got it figured out now.
No,
well,
I saw these guys
your nose
losing
was
weight.
stuffed up with gummy bears. So you
That was the trip with the gummy bears.
that was what did it.
So we got to the mini bar and I ate a pound of gummy bears.
Jesus.
I don't know why they call
No
it.
wonder you had to use the toilet.
Haribo. Oh no.
Double rainbow. So
What's that? Does a bear shit in the woods? Does the gummy bears
you
come out of
guys,
your shit in a
you
hotel?
guys are you guys are not men. You guys are babies.
True.
Seriously.
I'm with
you
you,
cannot
Bernie.
poop in the bathroom when another man's in there. You're a baby. Get out of here, baby. I'll poop in front of you right now, baby.
You know, if you say that a little nicer, I'd have to pay for the call.
We gotta start drawing lines of what determines manhood from here on out.
Pooping in front of another man.
I didn't.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I'm going along with a funny story. I did not poop this.
All right,
That is ridiculous.
I don't have direct evidence, but like I
Did you
said,
save a sample?
it was
Did you
tap,
save
tap,
a fecal
tap.
sample and put it
I
back?
did not. You were next to me. You were a foot away from me with a piece of glass in between us, and you rubbed a little hole. You rubbed a little hole in the glass, and it was not high. It was low.
So he left you a note in the fog in the
Did he
mirror
draw
on his way
I
out?
might have done that.
Thanks for sharing, Joel. XXOO.
Sharing is caring. I left you a present.
The best part is I imagine Joel cowering in the
Yeah,
very center.
he was like this.
The very center of the shower.
You did say
separate
I feel
rooms.
so much lighter when you came out. I don't know.
No, seriously. In all seriousness, separate rooms in Australia.
Okay. You got it. I have a visitor that's coming to see me. I have a lunch date.
All right.
But the reason why all this stuff came up while we were talking about it was because Joel came in and had this like horrible entrance, but he was asking about it because Michael the other day decided to eat a boot jolokia
When you
pepper.
poop that up, make sure Bernie is around.
Yeah, I already did, Joel.
Yeah,
that was last.
that was-
That was
that was
last
Friday.
weekend.
Well, I don't know how long those things.
Joel doesn't know what pooping is, apparently. Let's just establish
It's
that.
not a monthly thing.
No, but it hurt. Did it hurt?
You're not a snake. You're not in a
Did it
pool.
hurt?
It didn't hurt. No, it wasn't. I wasn't hurting.
It didn't hurt you at any
It
point.
didn't hurt.
No.
So
It
a
hurt.
boot
The
jolokia
ghost-
is the hottest
My
pepper.
stomach
And it didn't bother him at all.
Why are you asking me?
Because I want confirmation here.
I wasn't
don't
taking a
believe him.
shower.
He just
He's out of his senses.
He just
Clearly,
said it didn't bother
if
him
that
at
didn't
all.
bother him.
It bothered
Dude,
my stomach.
Let me tell you something. This dude's a man. This dude took that pepper. He ate that pepper and swallowed the whole pepper.
So that's man definition number 2.
Yeah,
And then-
imagine if I did it while I was pooping
in front of another
in
dude.
front of everyone.
You'd be like a double man.
Is there like a
happened if you
multiplication
just-
factor for each dude
What
in the
happened if you
room?
just-
Double man. Say that
Stuck up
nicely.
your butthole. That would be.
No, and I didn't just say I'm gonna eat it. Bernie came in with it, and he's like, "I bought this pepper. Who's gonna eat it?" And I was like, "I'll do it."
And Miles did it too.
He walked into my office and was like, "If I put something in your hands right now, will you eat it without asking any questions?" And I said, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, he did.
Some friend you are.
You heard the zipper sound and it was over.
Yeah.
At least let me take a shower first.
It's like, quick, Gus, get in the shower and talk about gold and the Rangers.
DIY. I still don't know what that is.
It's just important.
I can't believe you're still on this earth from eating that. I thought eating the ghost chili, the ghost pepper, would turn you into a ghost.
I don't know
That's
why
how
everyone
scary.
was hyping it up so much. I was just like,
It's a million times as hot
And
as
we were-
something that's not hot.
We were also asking him, like, what's the hottest you've ever eaten? He's like, I don't know, medium or hot sauce? I mean, I really don't know. It's like,
He's from New
You
Jersey.
told me that you hadn't eaten anything. Like you couldn't eat a Wendy's.
Yeah, a
spicy
year
chicken
ago, I
sandwich.
couldn't eat a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich because it was too hot.
Wait, let me ask you this. Now, having gone through what you went through eating that pepper, would you eat it again?
It depends the situation.
I think
This is the situation. The
Well,
podcast.
I wouldn't eat it like I'm hungry.
See, I think next time. I think
Nobody would do that. What are you, retarded?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want a pepper on my sandwich. I wouldn't eat it if it was like we're gonna film it and it's gonna.
I don't
be
know. If
funny.
we got back to the hotel
I'd eat
late
it.
and
I'd
the
eat it
mini
again.
bar only had ghost peppers.
Do you understand how eating works? He doesn't know how sitting there when pooping is.
Yeah.
You don't understand how eating works.
you just
It's like,
swallow
boy, I
it.
was out jogging all day. I want a glass of whiskey. Thirsty.
You just swallowed it.
What's that?
You just swallowed it.
No, I chewed it.
Oh, you did chew
No,
it.
I chewed it thoroughly.
I wouldn't say thoroughly. You gave it a good chomp or two, and then down
No, there
it
was a
went.
couple.
There's video evidence.
There's video evidence.
That's how it should.
Michael,
I
I want to
chewed
be
it.
clear. I want to be clear. I like taking things away from you and stealing moments of your
That's
life.
fine.
I'm not taking this away from you.
Oh, okay.
You fucking kicked ass, dude. He ate a fucking boot. Like the champ. Just like
I
chomp,
never-
chomp, down it goes.
So you were sick all weekend.
Yes.
Was it the
No.
pepper?
No,
Was,
Bernie
it was
ate me like 50 times.
But see, here's what I don't get.
So,
Anything
was
that-
it
Worried
was
about
it the
you.
pepper?
I'm such a guilty conscience.
No, I had
anything
like
that
a cold
hot
or
should
something.
destroy any germs you have in your body. No germ
No,
can live on.
no, I was sick like that morning. That's why. Like I started getting a cold
And that
before
didn't
the
fix
pepper.
it?
No,
And
it
what
didn't.
is the benefit of this
I
pepper?
should have eaten two.
It does nothing for you. It like gives you...
I should have eaten two.
Hey, Gus.
yeah.
Is Adam here today?
Yes.
I'm going to try to send Adam in because he grows these things.
Okay.
And he can tell you the horrible process you have to...
Why would anyone grow these?
Because
So
The
stupid people like me
scariest-
can eat them.
The scariest thing about this peppers is
Okay,
that you
so
turn
guys-
over the back. On the back of the box for the chili pepper, it says, "Do not give to children.
It says,
That's-
do not touch children.
Do not touch children.
Yeah.
Do not touch with your bare hands." It
yeah,
says
I
that
mean,
as well.
some of the peppers you can't if it comes in contact with your skin, it like burns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Did I ever
Your
tell,
mouth
did I
is
ever tell
fine,
you
though.
what happened to my my brother-in-law?
no?
This is how smart my family is. So my brother-in-law is a cook, and he was cooking for my sister at some point, making her dinner, and he's chopping away in the kitchen, and after a couple minutes, my sister hears "Ah!" and she thinks, "Oh my god, my boyfriend, fiance at the time, just cut off his fingers or something while he's chopping," you know. And she runs in there, and he like whew, hightails it out of the kitchen and runs into the bathroom, and is like taking off his pants, and like grabs the shower head and is like spraying himself below the waist. And she's like, what is going on? He had been chopping hot peppers, gotten the oils from the hot peppers on his hand, and then scratched himself.
So wait, while he was cooking,
While he was cooking for my sister!
There's a lot. That's a lot.
He
of work
deserved
to-
it!
You haven't eaten any of his dishes lately, have you?
It's like that episode of Seinfeld
That was
where
it,
they're
man.
like, "We're going to cook your dinner special." And
Yeah.
he like goes to the bathroom and
I did
doesn't
that.
wash his hands.
I did that with a contact lens once. Where I rubbed the thing and that was horrible.
You rubbed your contact lens
On
on your
your
balls?
junk?
Oh God.
That's a whole different story.
So we have joining us for the first time here, Adam. Adam takes care of the website.
Hello, everyone.
He's taken that job from me, sucker. So
He
Adam,
wrestled it out of your hands.
so Bernie, yeah, he wrestled it. From my
you were
hands.
just clutching it so tight.
Yeah, he wrestled it away from me and Google. So Bernie asked Adam to come in here because Adam actually grows jalokia and other peppers.
I got to go, but Adam stopped growing those.
Okay.
No.
See you, Joel.
Bye, Joel.
We didn't even get to talk about the stuff we wanted to talk about. All right. So anyway,
Joel's got to go trade some stocks.
he's got to dump them all for gold.
Yeah.
So Bernie asked you to come in because you grow them, and apparently it's like an awful process to get these evil things to grow.
Yeah, the Bujalokias themselves are actually pretty difficult. They are the most temperamental thing that I've ever grown on a semi-regular basis. The Bujalokias themselves, at least to make them really hot, they require a lot of heat. Ironically, in the setup that you're growing them in.
So it's like, you mean like temperature heat? Like they have to be grown in a hot
like
environment?
they have to be grown in a very, very hot environment on top of just, being very
You have to
temperamental.
piss on them every day. You have to poke it with a stick for 30 minutes.
No, that'll probably just make them die. But,
So do you wear gloves when you're like dealing with them on any level, like seeds?
no,
Then you
seeds,
planting them?
yeah, because you can get the oil on your hands, and that's
That's it right there.
Yeah, you're just done.
You're done.
That's not
No,
not
no
fun.
ball scratching after that.
No, that would be
do that
unwise.
before,
You
man.
would want
Get out
to
of the way.
avoid that. Yeah, at least before washing your hands. So the setup that I have is actually so when I was a kid, I used to have pet lizards and stuff like that. So so I had a terrarium set up that had heat lamps and all that kind of good stuff. And eventually, my lizards died, and I
Because
changed
you were
it.
feeding them hot peppers?
They just died.
Wow.
That's all that happened.
Sad.
Wow. Too bad they weren't frogs. I'd say they croak. I was like trying to think of a way to work it in, but I couldn't. All right.
Anyway, so my particular setup, I actually have, I have a layer of the soil, and underneath the soil, I actually have a heat rock.
A heat rock.
A heat rock, and it's something that you typically have for lizards in,
Right,
in
so
a terrarium.
they lay on it.
They
Yeah.
lay on it because it's just a little rock that you plug into the wall, and it gets really hot.
So you buried this?
I buried the heat rock. A lot of other places, they'll have a heated pad or something down there. Well, at the time I was poor, so it was just I have this heat rock. I'm going to use this. And so I have buried this heat rock underneath the soil. And this is all in a tank. When they're really small, it's entirely too difficult to get them to seed. So typically you'll actually I transplant them 3 times before they actually start even showing, or before they get too tall. And so you bury the heat rock, and it's one of those things that you have to keep it in a perfect temperature. It's got to be within 10 degrees, and you got to watch it every day. If you water too much, they die. If you water not enough, they die. It's a setup that it's almost a science experiment
So
to get
God-
these things to grow.
God does not want these things to live.
No. God has tried to kill these things, and for some reason we
You're
keep
fighting
growing
him.
It's
them.
interesting that the heat rock is below it too. It's the fires of hell creeping up through the soil to power these things.
And it's actually been proven that the hotter you have the soil, the hotter the peppers are.
Really?
When they're fully grown, yeah. So if you have a poor growth environment, you'll get crappy peppers that aren't as hot. And then you can get some people who who are really, really good and have a really good setup, and they're the fucking hottest things in the world.
So you told us about another pepper as well. that I had no idea existed.
Yeah, I think
You're right.
And
It's called the Scorpion. or something
it's
like
the
that.
and I can't remember the full name, but it was like 3 or 4 months ago. The Trinidad Scorpion something pepper, and you'll have to look it up.
This Trinidad Scorpion ball kicker.
Yeah. It has officially broken the record for the hottest pepper in the
The
world.
funny thing is, it's not a pepper. It's a scorpion that stings
It's
your
an
tongue
actual
while you're eating. It's like they put a scorpion in your hamburger and you eat it. And
Yeah, and it's actually 50% hotter than the boot jalopy.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's 1.5 million Scoville.
And this came
for reference, I think mace or pepper spray is 700,000 Scoville.
Well, I'm pretty sure standard pepper, like if you were to go to the store and buy like your own pepper spray kit because you're afraid of rapists, like that would be in the ballpark of
It's
700.
it's like the one you carry, Michael.
That,
Yeah.
but like U.S. military grade pepper spray is like higher than that. But
They grow the pepper spray on a heat
Yeah.
rock.
and a jalapeno is what, like 1,000?
well, a jalapeno can vary. I mean, bad jalapenos are about 1,000. They've been recorded to be all the way up to like 8,000. I think even like, but yeah,
it's on the scale
8,000.
versus a million, right?
The jalapeno's a pussy.
Now, the guy who invented or crossbred or genetically engineered or made the pact with the devil to make the scorpion pepper killer tongue stabber, whatever the name of that pepper is he in jail?
I don't believe so.
Can we have him arrested? Isn't it illegal to use the ghost chili in most countries?
I'm not sure as to like which countries or anything like that, but I know a lot of people have actually like there's been stories, you know, and it's on the internet, so who really knows? But of like waiters having like, you know, douchebag people there, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want some hot sauce," and they'll go get like, you know, some Ultra Death or you know, Vicious Viper, so, you know, the top tier of the hot sauces, and be like, "Oh yeah, use this. It's like Tabasco sauce," and you know, they'll put it on their food and then almost die eating this. And there's been several people who have like pressed charges, and those people have went to jail for assault and things like that because of giving hot sauces that are way too hot.
Wheels are turning over there. Hey, no one forced you to do it. It's on video.
Oh, my stomach.
Oh, man.
It was that pepper.
What
That
time? Do you
workers'
remember?
compensation bill is just like climbing.
Do you remember when we went to Dixie's a few years ago? We're going to take some barbecue with us to go, and we tried to get Gene Porter to put some of the man all over the barbecue. He's like, "No, I won't do that."
Yeah.
He's like, "Quite nice, because I don't want you giving this to someone."
No way, cool, dude.
And them
So
not
badly
know.
want to try the man.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can get the man now that he's gone? Is there,
I think
his family still sell it in a bottle or
I
something?
think they still make it at the restaurant.
Oh, I thought the restaurant was closed.
That's what I thought too. Someone told me they're still open. I don't know what the status of the restaurant is.
Okay, well, somebody...
Not the kind of business that has a good web presence.
Yeah, somebody in Seattle let us know what's going on with that. That's sad, man. That was like our favorite place to go when we went up there, and it was like we would always get like so psyched about going up there because you had to eat super hot stuff. You kind of have to psych yourself up. Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun. I can see why people get addicted to doing it because there's kind of like the high of the anticipation and then the high of like the endorphins or whatever it is that kicks in.
Yeah.
When you buy it. What is that? Is it endorphins?
Sure.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm sure it
I have
is.
no idea. It's a rush, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I can contest to the fact that eating something ridiculously hot.
It gives you a rush, and
you
then it
get a
rushes
rush,
right
you
out
get
of
an
you.
adrenaline rush. You get all that, and it's almost like a thrill seeker.
At Dixie's, though, they would try to kind of ice you out, though. They try to make you get scared because the line would move so slow.
cool dude.
Yeah, the line would move so slow, and it was such a laborious process to get your food and then to get seated and everything. Like, I know we've talked about it before in podcasts, but I gotta repeat it. Like, we've gone there, and like I've been waiting, like in front of the register to pay, because the person at the register is on the phone with the pharmacy refilling their prescriptions, and you stand there with your food for like 15 minutes while she argues with the pharmacy, and you don't complain a bit.
No.
You just wait.
Or else you're out of there.
Just wait, and then when she's done with the pharmacy, okay, I'll pay for my food now, and I'll go sit down.
Interesting place. Interesting people.
Hope it's still around. But we have, I'm going to forget, so I'm going to say it now. We have New York Comic Con this weekend.
Yeah.
So this week, I guess it starts Thursday, goes through Sunday.
Yeah.
We're going to be in booth 1720.
And you'll be there?
I'll be there. So will Michael. AKA Rage
and
Quiz.
I'll be there.
And Chris?
Chris.
And
Barbara.
Barbara.
How do people know Chris?
Chris from the Shorts. You guys know Chris
He
from the
was
Shorts.
Mark Zuckerberg in the.
That's right. In the Google Plus versus
Yeah.
Facebook sketch.
Was that his-
And he was also
Is that his breakout role?
that or the Captain America.
Atari Kid.
Atari Kid.
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah.
Anytime we needed a stand-in for Joel,
Right.
Chris looks enough like Joel that we can always use him.
He was the bartender in Noted to Death.
Yeah.
Who looked like Joel.
Like he
right?
turns around, you think
Yeah.
it's going to be Joel, and then it's Chris.
Yeah, and then Barbara, aka Blondie.
Barbara, aka Blondie.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. I have not been to the New York Comic Con.
This is the first time Rooster Teeth is exhibiting at New York Comic Con, and I'm told it's going to be kind of big. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Is it the Jacob Javits Center?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
at
what
the
it is?
Javits Center, which I realized the other day is where they had Macworld 99, where they unveiled Halo for the first time.
No way, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was at the Javits Center.
How many times have you seen that video?
Oh, I've seen it so many times. When Steve Jobs passed away last week, I looked that video up because I remember watching it, and at the bottom, it was like the official Macworld stream. It's like Jacob Javits Center. I was like, holy shit, that's where I'm going to be.
We should
in 2 weeks.
We should find out where he was standing at that moment and steal something.
But yeah, it's crazy to think that that's how Halo was debuted, and that's how people saw it for the first time. And I remember back then, watching that trailer over and over, and being so excited about that game back in '99 and 2000 before it came out.
Yeah, me too.
And it was actually debuted at Macworld?
Yeah,
This is
they-
news to me.
Because they
I
were
was not
they
playing
were a
Xbox
Mac
back then or
they were a
something. That was
Mac
crazy.
only game company.
Bungie
Really?
was.
Yeah.
Bungie. Wow.
And Apple was making a bit of a gaming push at the time, talking about OpenGL and how you can develop games for the Mac. And so
Yeah.
as part of that, they brought Bungie out to show Halo. And that was the first time the public had seen it.
What was the name of that Mac gaming platform that never took off? That was like Pinin or Puffin or something like that. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Puffin sounds familiar.
It was something like that. I was wondering the other day if it was part of the whole, starting to have Halo, and then they didn't think, or if it was prior to that.
I don't know.
But it's so weird that they had these failed attempts to kind of bring gaming onto either the Mac platform or the Apple, prior to Mac platform, and now the iPhone or iPad is pretty much it's one of the dominant gaming platforms.
Yeah,
which is really weird, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost a Trojan horse when it comes to gaming. I feel like
Yeah.
Apple really didn't push the gaming side of that for a long time. I mean, I think iPhones and iPod Touches were out for at least a year or two before they finally started embracing games and having commercials with games and pushing it as a feature.
Well, they probably just looked at the number of gaming apps in the App Store and said, "Oh, there's something going on here," and they didn't really have to do anything to push it. It just sprung up by itself.
Well, what I think what everyone learned is that people have a lot of free time sitting on the toilet. And 99 cents is a small price to pay for to help that time pass faster.
I didn't know there's something creepy about that for me still. When I get an AIM or a text or something from Jeff, and I'm like, I would get up and I want to talk to him about it. I'm like, where is he? And he's like, oh, I hear AIM text sounds coming from the toilet. The door is
The
closed.
Mac gaming thing actually reminds me. Just yesterday, I saw that video that you made a million years ago. I tweeted it. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw you tweet that.
The
Was that the
parody?
first time you'd seen it?
I think I've seen it a long time ago,
okay.
but I'd forgot about it.
Yeah, shit, dude. That was 9 years ago. It's a long time ago. God,
I think
it's
I
almost
remember
10
watching
years.
that
Yeah.
in middle school.
I got that video is the reason. I got recognized in public for the first time ever because of that video. It was before we started Rooster Teeth. We'd made that video or whatever, and I went up to Fry's with Jeff, and these two high school kids were like, "Oh, we just saw your video. We burn it on CDs and we pass it out around our computer club. It's so funny." I was like, "Okay, get away from me."
It's even funny that it's that was when we made the video. That was how you saw it. You burned it on a CD and you handed
Right.
the CD to somebody.
Right.
When's the last time anybody handed you a CD of something that was burned to watch something? I remember when I was in college before
That event, middle school.
Yeah.
That was it.
When I was in college before, the internet took off, people would hand each other VHS tapes.
God, yeah.
Of funny stuff that they had seen. Like the Reverend Tootin' Tilton. Remember that?
I remember.
That was the VHS tape that everybody was handing around to each other.
But also the South Park stuff got.
And now you wouldn't
made
even
its
watch.
rounds like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And you wouldn't even stop on that on YouTube now.
Yeah,
I think the only VHS that I and I'm a bit younger than you guys. So
What are you trying to say?
that I
keep
don't-
keep eating those peppers.
The-
We'll see how fast you rolled.
The only VHS I actually remember owning is like the original Jurassic Park, and that is it. Everything else past that, I've had on DVD.
Yeah, but you had a lot of beta tapes for sure. right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was collecting them.
Did you ever own a beta, Matt?
No, with my some of the people in my family, my uncle had a beta, and it was like one of those things like, wow, he's got a Betamax, that's awesome. But we never had one that was like too expensive for our house.
One of my neighbors owned one, and I remember being young and like looking at it and not understanding that it was a beta. I was like, God, those VCR tapes are shaped weird.
Yeah, they're so small and like
it doesn't
the
say
wrong size.
It doesn't say T120 on it. It says T170 or whatever
Yeah,
the
right,
designation
right,
was.
right.
I was like, that's so weird.
We had one in our house.
You had a beta?
Yeah, my father had one.
Shit. Did you used to watch stuff on it before you were born?
Yeah, he watched stuff on it after I was born. He'd like record any like those they have like the Sunday movies on the WB or whatever.
Oh, right.
And he'd be like, now we return to the Sunday movie, The Gremlins. And like all that shit was on tape. He would like record that, and that's like all the movies he had.
I was watching The Simpsons the other day, a rerun of The Simpsons, and it was like their 138th episode or something, and it was a
138th episode.
Yeah, it was.
What are they up to? Like 250 or something now?
No, they're way beyond that. They just renewed through season 25, and at the
Oh,
end,
they did?
Yeah, and at the end of season 25 will be episode 559.
Holy fuck.
Wait, so The Simpsons is still on the.
Yeah.
They still have stuff to do.
Yeah, they're
because
doing-
I think like past a certain point, they're just like, oh yeah, we did this in season 4.
Yeah, Simpsons.
we're
did
gonna do it again.
The great thing about The Simpsons is like they already gave Family Guy all their jokes, so now they can just recycle the jokes back from Family
Yeah.
Guy, and they seem fresh again.
But in watching this episode, it was a clip show, and they had like Troy McClure was hosting it. This is how old this episode
Troy
is.
McClure.
Right? Phil Hartman
I'm
was still
Troy
alive.
McClure.
So he's hosting, and he says, we're going to show you never before scenes and outtakes and whatever. So get your VCRs ready and record it because we'll never show it again. It's like, wow, how old are the Simpsons?
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought that wasn't going to get renewed because all the actors were like,
It was a last minute deal. They managed to work shit out. They've renewed it through season 25, but the press release I read made it seem like that was it. Like they weren't going to bother renewing it after that.
interesting.
So
Michael, see, you learn from this. Don't demand more money. Just be happy with where you are.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep going.
Simpsons have been on the air for 22 years.
How 2022?
Yeah, they debuted in December of '89.
Wow,
That's crazy.
we're getting talking.
I remember, I grew up in a really small town. I know I complain about it all the time. Like, the town I grew up in was so small that when The Simpsons debuted, we didn't have Fox. We didn't get Fox till like season 4 of The Simpsons, I think.
Wow, does that count the Tracy Ullman years,
No, that's pure
or is it
Simpsons.
year?
Yeah.
How long were they on Tracy Ullman?
Tracy Ullman was 3 years.
3
it was
years?
86 to 89, and then in 89 is when they got their own show.
Wow.
And hopefully Red vs. Blue will go even longer.
We'll end up on the Tracy Ullman show at the end. That's going to happen to us at the end. It's like,
We'll claw our way
internet
up.
won't take us, and Tracy Ullman will be like, you put a couple episodes on my show, that's fine.
She'll be 90 by then.
Yeah.
She's not 90 now.
All right, well let's wrap this shit up because we
gotta go eat some ghost
We got to get on a
peppers.
plane and go to New York Comic Con.
Yeah, Gus and I are gonna have so much
See us in New York Comic Con. If you live on the other side of the world, go see Bernie and Joel at Armageddon in Melbourne and Auckland, and
Yeah.
then go see me in London at MCM later this month.
With special guest.
Oh, and you're going to be there.
Possibly.
Oh,
we'll see
maybe.
if I can. Who knows?
Matt might be there.
I have trouble on international trips for some reason. Sometimes my passport doesn't work.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Story for another day.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Bye bye.